My name is Jiles Smith, and welcome to Our Community.
Well, now we've transitioned into an area of the exhibit hall that we were talking about the deserts and specifically Death Valley. But this animal, it looks ferocious, but actually it's a plant eater. Doesn't eat meat. This is a brontotherium, and the brontotherium related to horses, rhinoceroses. This animal lived about 33 million years ago and was found in Death Valley. Pretty amazing. And it was a browser, meaning that it didn't really grass, it ate actual vegetation off bushes and so on. This is an actual cast of it, so this is, and they were big. They were like a rhinoceros. When you think about a rhinoceros, it eats plants. This animal is an analogy that did the same thing, but you didn't want to mess with it. How it maintained its survival as being big and ornery, but actually was a plant eater. So this is something that I think that the children and folks of all ages will get a kick out of, because this came from your deserts of South America or North America. Well, I talked about discover your backyard, and that's our main theme here. What Victor Valley Museum wants to do is, what we want to do is use this museum as a staging area for your backyard. We want you to come in, experience the exhibits, the adaptations of animals, the paleontology, the geology, the anthropology, the history, but we then want you to go out into the deserts and explore yourself, because that's really what makes it important for you as a resident to go out and figure out where, for example, we have a wonderful, wonderful example of ancient plant life here right in 35 miles away from Victor Valley Museum. And that is the creosote bush. Creosote bush is a common plant throughout the North American deserts. But in the Mojave area, as well as other, they just haven't been found, is what's called creosote bush rings. And creosote bush rings, this is in Johnson Valley, just right out on 247. And I say about 35 miles out. It's a BLM area of critical environmental concern. These were discovered in the early 70s by scientists at UC Riverside. And the only way they found them is flying in a plane. And when you look down, and this is an aerial shot, you see a ring. Well, it looks like a bathtub ring, but some of them can be half as big as this room. And this one is in China Lake, and that's a large one. Well, why these are significant is they're upwards to 9,000 years old. So you have a parent, and then these are all the descendants. And if you take a dating, what's called carbon dating, and you look at the age of the root system, you can start dating it. The reason why we depicted this is we wanted to tell the residents that you can drive up to the Owens Valley, Big Pine, and see the bristlecone pine. Wonderful, wonderful organism, wonderful plant, and those are of similar age. But discover your backyard locally, we have a famous plant that's old as the bristlecone pines. And again, only 35 miles away. You can stop and have breakfast somewhere, drive out on a nice, pleasant day, and walk out to the Johnson Valley and take a look and think about that point in time that I talked about. So again, creosote bush rings a significant feature of the high desert. We have so many different things here at Victor Valley Museum, but this is an interesting photograph that we developed. And "Are you living on the edge?" is the statement. Kathleen Springer, our senior curator of geology, kind of made that up. She is a paleontologist, but also earthquake scientist as well. And what this map depicts is the faults, the San Andreas Fault and the Garlock Fault that run through the Mojave Desert. And we probably all remember the Hinckley earthquake. That was, what, 10, 15 years ago? But this shows you areas that have had earthquakes. Obviously, Big Bear was one, Forest Falls. And earthquakes or fault zones are throughout the Mojave Desert. These are the significant ones, but it tells so much about our past history, our prehistory, our current history, and also what we do here is every year we have the California Great Shakeout. And what is the shakeout? Well, what we try to do is blend science with preparedness, because it's so important to be prepared, whether you live in the high desert, if you live in Adelanto, Barstow, or I live in Redlands. I prepared myself in my house if we have the major earthquake. And what we do is we have a public presentation in October every year. We've been doing it now for about 6 years. We have one at the main facility in Redlands and also here at Victorville. And we have first responders, fire, police, search and rescue here as well in the parking lot, so the kids can see a fire engine and rescue vehicles. But also there's discussions and material for how to prepare yourself, how much water, what type of food you should have, how you should secure your furniture in your house, making a family plan of your dad goes to work, your mom goes to work, you go to school. Well, you should have it in a plan to say, what if something happens, Mom? What if something happens, Dad? What should I do? So that's what we try to do through our programs here, is not only talk about the science of earthquakes, but really how earthquakes affect us, the humans, and how we can be prepared. So obviously we're going to have a lot of structural damage, but what we're trying to do is minimize or reduce or zero out human fatalities and things like that. So that's what museums do, is they not only talk about the science, the history of the region, but also they give you some instruction on insight. And we work with partners, California Earthquake Center, the Seismic Safety Commission in Sacramento. So we're working with other agencies, County Fire, San Bernardino County Fire, Apple Valley Fire. We work with all the agencies, and they're here as well to talk about how they're preparing and how you should prepare, because they're the experts. We're the museum experts, but they're the first responding experts. So I welcome you in October. And I think it's the third weekend. Please go to our website, but we have the California Great Shakeout here that will give you all the information, not only about the science of earthquakes, but also how to prepare for one. Well, I think of museums as an Easter egg hunt. You're always finding something. You're looking for that special egg. Well, anthropology. We have an anthropology section here, and anthropology, really the study of ancient people, specifically in our region, Native Americans, which were really the first people. And an absolutely wonderful, wonderful history of this region. And again, remember what I said about staging. This is a staging area. We can talk about various areas in the high desert and their importance and value, and actual seeing and respecting certain resources that are from Native American cultures. And here we see on the wall are petroglyphs. And these are just a series of drawings, and they didn't have an iPad, they didn't have a paper and a pen. It communicated through rock art. And rock art is famous in Arizona, New Mexico, and so on, but we have rock art here. And BLM, the Bureau of Land Management, and the National Park Service does their due diligence to protect the rock art. And our anthropologist interprets and works with Native American tribes. There's some 19 Native American tribes in Southern California or more, to really talk to elders, get history, and find out exactly where the Native Americans lived, like the Mojave tribe, the Paiutes, the Serranos, the Gabriels. And so this room really depicts some of the areas. The Newberry Cave, which is in the Mojave Desert, Cow Cove petroglyphs, and these are protected, but we want you to go and actually physically see these areas. And then I won't talk about everything, but you can get a sense that, you know, we have pottery, we have Native American baskets, we have small implements or tools. So this kind of gives you a sense that First People, the Mojave Indians, it was a significant culture, and it really kind of groomed where we are today on some of the things. Some of the basketry that was done was absolutely amazing, and the baskets were used for certain things, whether it be making food or carrying water or maintaining commodities in. So you can see all this at Victor Valley Museum and get a sense of the wonderful, the amazing history that occurs here in the Mojave Desert. And with Native American material and antiquities, think about a point in time. Think about who made that and why. And we can also tell in certain baskets where they made it. Was it near a stream? Was it in a pine forest? Was it in a desert area? Because of the fibers. That's organic fibers. So that's that point in time that tells us about where they were living, why were they making baskets. So just a wonderful, wonderful aspect of the Mojave Desert that we want you to experience here at Victor Valley Museum.
We would like to thank Robert McKernan, San Bernardino County Director of Museums. And now some scenes from an upcoming show called The Parade of Pianos.